Welcome. We're back with the 7th annual Harlem Emergency Preparedness Day event. We're now here in the event space. We finished our presentations out on the plaza, and I'm pleased to present now Lieutenant Apparuto, Lieutenant Anthony Apparuto, and the Public Safety Division from City College are going to do a presentation on active shooter defense and response. So without further ado, let me turn the mic over.
Thank you, Stu. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to City College. So today we're going to talk about, God forbid you're in a situation where there's an active shooter. It doesn't have to be in a school. It happens in movie theaters. It's happening in churches. It's happening everywhere. So we're going to talk about how to prevent, or prepare, I should say, not prevent, prepare yourself. God forbid you're in a situation and you're there, and how do you prepare yourself to save yourself and save other lives. Okay? So, does everybody know what an active shooter is? Does anyone? Could I, young lady, I'm sorry, I know you're eating. Enjoy. What is an active shooter? She said it's when someone comes in with a firearm and starts shooting up randomly innocent people. Correct. The reason why I ask you that, because there's a difference between an active shooter and a person that comes in like for workplace violence or domestic violence. The reason why it's different, because in a domestic or workplace violence incident where a person comes with a gun, normally there's a person of interest they're looking for, correct? So yeah, everyone, we say, oh, it's an active shooter, but he's upset, she's upset about an employee, was fired, they're upset, they get mad at the supervisor, they come in, and they take their anger out with a weapon. It could be a knife or a gun, and they take it out on the employer or the supervisor. Same thing goes with a domestic violence incident. A lot of times someone's upset on either end of the party, and they come over and they end up taking it out because they're upset and they feel no one else should be married to, or be with my children, or be married to another one, and they come to the place of work or they come to their school and they cause some kind of harm to that person. And in a lot of those cases, you may be in that area, you may be in the office working, you might be close by, you may be the innocent person who becomes a victim. So what we're going to talk about today is what to do, God forbid, you're in a situation. Does anyone have an idea what we should do? Say it again. Hide. That's one. Say it again. Know where the exits are. Correct. Someone have hands over there? Anyone? Go ahead, sir. Run, hide, and fight. Exactly. That's exactly what we're going to talk about. Run, hide, and fight. And we're going to show a quick 5-minute video. We're going to do some demonstrations of what to do, God forbid, you're in a situation where there's an active shooter. Now, this goes for people in all different ages. From teaching kids these days, we're teaching kids in the elementary schools, we're teaching middle schools and high schools and college students, as well as we're going around the churches that show people how to, God forbid, a gunman runs into the church and takes out their frustration in the church. So we've been doing this at hospitals as well, in the local areas in the Harlem area. So I always start off with, if an individual was approached, and I know everybody got food in your hands. Could I use you? Okay. If I was to come up to you, okay, and I was just you, me and you, and what I have here is a toy gun. It's a 9mm replica. Toy's fake. No, there's no real gun on me, so everybody understands there's nothing on me. It's real. So that's important for everybody to understand it's not real. Exactly. So what I like to do is, what is your name? Marcus. Marcus, you're alone. I approach you. I'm pointing this at you right now. I'm pointing right at your chest, right? What do you think? I'm going to kill you, correct? If I'm a shooter. What would you do if you had to talk to someone, or someone's pointing a gun at you? What would you do, Marcus?
I'll raise my hand.
You would raise your hand? Okay. Everyone has an opinion. Okay. Let's get to the real Harlem here. Let's go. Could I borrow you, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. You can sit down. If you want to stand, it's fine. You can stand. Okay. No, it's not real. That's why I showed everybody. So Marcus said he's going to raise his hands, right? I'm pointing at you in your chest. I'm going to shoot. Most likely I'm going to cause some. What would you do?
Well, I said if I got to go, I'm going to go.
What did she say? If she's going to go, she's going to fight, right? And you're not taking my life without a fight. Now, you're from Harlem, right? That's right. That's why we don't have, this is how we're about, all right? So exactly what's your name?
Roberta.
Roberta. That's exactly what she said. She's going to die, she said, so I'm going to fight. So she used all her strength, and right now, as she did, she went to the punch, just knocked my hand. In real life, your adrenaline's pumping. She hits my wrist area. Remember what comes out of here? A bullet, right? So she wants to move that bullet away from her chest, which is the main area here, correct? So she's hoping that when she moves, she hit my wrist, you saw she hit it. I take a shot, I miss, maybe hit the shoulder. Could you survive if it hits in the shoulder? Right? And gives her that 2 seconds to run if she has to run. Okay? So even if she has to run, by the time that person comes back, to the point you're running, that 2 seconds may save your life. If you get shot in the leg, could you survive it? Then it's here. Here is a very, very vulnerable area. Okay, so exactly.
Can I ask you another question?
Go ahead.
How you supposed to do that with your elbow or whatnot?
Well, if they're pointing behind you and you don't know what it is, and if they're not, you're going to do the same thing, or you would do whatever you can do to try and survive it. Okay? Try an elbow, but again, remember what comes out of that front of that gun. You want that to go the other direction, not towards your chest or your brain. Okay, so this is a one-on-one. We talked about one-on-one. God forbid someone pointing that firearm at you. We don't want you to be ninjas. There's nothing here we're teaching to be ninjas. We're not kung fu experts. This is stuff that's animal. It's instincts that we have that when we know when something's going to happen, we got to survive. And just like you did, Roberta, you fought. That 2 seconds could save your life. Okay? And run. If you can run. Because the time that shooter comes, most of these shooters are not experts. Okay? The time they put it back to try and get they miss. Or they go on to the next person. Okay? Now, one thing about the active shooters, the cowards. Active shooters are cowards. They hit innocent people. So if a gunman was to come into this room right now, and it's just me, a lone gunman, and there's about 30, 40 of you here, and if we all fought together, we would save lives. We always would save lives. And what some people don't understand is some people are going to freeze, and some people are not going to freeze. And if you don't freeze with a group of you together, you guys can take down that shooter, hopefully. And there's a lot of shootings that have been going on around the world. I'm not going to talk about all of them. There's tons of them now. And one of the most recent ones in New Zealand, there was an incident where an individual came into a religious area. You saw one individual survived it, correct? You saw a male. I'm sure a lot of people saw the videos. He ran out, but he ran towards the shooter. That shooter just went the other direction and went for other innocent people because all those other innocent people froze. And they stood together. So if you ever have a situation where a gunman comes into a building or mall, think a few things. If you hear the gunshots outside and you're in this location, in this building, we want you to immediately shut the lights. Shut those lights off immediately. Why? We want the gunman not to see you. Hopefully you're in an area where they don't see you. Shut those lights. We want you to also barricade doors with furniture. Anything you can find that's to barricade with furniture. We also want you to put your phone. If you can hide, call 911. Let 911 know where the shooter is or what you're hearing or what you're seeing. Why? 911 gets the information, they're going to hand it to the police department, right? We want you to maybe keep your phone on just as well. Why do we think keeping that phone on is important? Someone said something, ma'am? Communications one, yes, because now the operator's hearing what's going on in the background.
So I wanted to go back. Was raising my hands bad?
No, and I'll get back to you in a second on that one. So communications, you said, so the police department can hear the background noise. The shots are being fired. What do we have on our phones these days? GPS locators. What happens? These phones they hit towers, cell towers. They might tell you an area where you are at the location you are, where the shooter's calling from. That's important. Now, we want you, if this kind of area is not a good area with glass, but if you're in the area of glass and you can get away from glass, stay away from glass. We want you to go ahead and spread yourself out within the room. spread yourself out. Why? If a shooter comes in here, that shooter comes in here and you're spread out, is it harder for a shooter to try and hit all of yous where you're all together in a huddle? I can sit there with 16 shots, right? And especially if the people freeze. So spread yourself out. Shut the lights. Barricade the doors. Barricade everything. You can stay away from glass where they can see. Because an active shooter, he or she's to try a door, and I say she because there's been incidents with female active shooters in the last couple of years. And they can't get in. What is the main goal of an active shooter? To kill how many bodies they can get. That's what their goal is. So if they can't get in and they can't see nothing, they don't hear nothing, they're going to the next location. So it's important to keep quiet. Don't panic. Now, most important thing. If we have the active shooter comes in and you barricade and there's 30 people in this room or 10, what do you think you should do with that active shooter? Roberta, we're going to fight. We're going to fight, right?
We all come together.
And we're going to demonstrate all that in a little bit. We're going to fight to try and survive because when that active shooter does come in, he may take a shot, 1, 2, but all of you's taking me down. What's going to happen? I'm going to lose that weapon, okay? And I'm going to be held there, hopefully, until the police come or you said it, Roberta. You said it, not me. But you're right. You're right. If you guys don't kill them yourself, exactly. So you're right about that. So what we're going to talk about is what to do now if he came in and he got here. And we're going to show you some demonstrations of what to do. Again, this is not stuff that this is common sense stuff. And a lot of people freeze when they hear the sound of gunshots. And when you know you're going to die, your adrenaline's in a pump and you want to survive, so you got to fight. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'll give it out.
Is falling on the floor and hiding?
Say it again.
Falling on the floor and hiding. Is that a good?
On the floor hiding? Yeah, if the lights are out and you're on the floor hiding and you can barricade yourself, absolutely. Yes. So I'm giving you out right now, it's a bunch of balls, salt balls, not to hurt me. But I see a lot of individuals, I see there's a lot of big bags in this room, a lot of big pocketbooks with the kitchen sink inside. Use whatever you can use as a weapon to help survive. Improvise a weapon. If it's this chair, could you use this chair to throw at me? Could you use a fire extinguisher to hit me with? That big bag, could you throw it at me? Because you know what happens? You know what happens now? Human instincts. As I come in as a shooter, and people start throwing objects at me. What objects? Bags, chairs. What do you think is going to happen? What's human instincts? What do we do? What do we do? So now, if I came into this location, I would like everybody here, before you throw the balls, I know you're going to at me. You would throw things at me, and your most concern is you can get out, get out. So those in the back, and it's just an exercise. I'm not going to run out. I do this with other groups, but if you can get out that side. And you're here, and if I'm here, you're at the hot zone area, right? All right, those balls and those bags you have are going to hit me and punch me, and you guys are going to kick me and take me down because you're surviving. You may have 2 or 3 shooters, people that are victims, but your main concern is get out if you can get out, okay? So I'm going to come in, and I know you're all eating, so I don't want to mess up your food. But for those who have the balls to come in, okay, I would like you to throw at me as I come in, and I want you to throw. In the meantime, I'm going to have Ron, who is going, because I don't want everybody's eating and food. I don't want food all over me. Ron is going to show you what he's going to do, and I know I'm his lieutenant, and he wants to take some frustration out of me, so please don't hurt me. All right? So if I was to come in, and I get in, I want all of you to throw that ball at me, and some of you at the back are going to run out, but you don't have to run out. This is an exercise. Just run out, pretend in your mind. For those that are here, you're going to tackle me. So if all of you's in the front, your job would be tackling me and throwing stuff at me to get me to get all misconfused and what's going on. So shooter's not going to expect you to fight against us. So here I come in. I want you to throw those balls at me. You can get up. You want to get out the closest exit, or you can stay where you are. I know you're eating. I come in. I come over here. I start shooting. Boom! I don't like the school. Boom! Throw! What am I doing? So now a quick demonstration was that, and that was just him. Imagine all of yous coming at me. I saw all those objects come at me. I didn't expect those objects to come at me. It got me to flinch, right? I flinched. I lost. Oh, I can't get back. Well, I'm here to shoot people now. Now he took me down. I didn't expect him to take me down. You would have been there. You would have been there. All of you in the front might have been there. Maybe 2 or 3 victims, but we have another 20 people that lives saved right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Now this is a demonstration. Suppose when they eat and he came in, can't they throw that food at him too?
You throw everything. Roberta, you throw everything. You throw everything at them. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? I know it's food time, lunchtime. Anybody have any questions about active shooters? Now, just a quick history. Most active shooters are alone. They're loners. They mostly stay by themselves. And if they do have 2 shooters, a lot of the shooters, they stay together, statistics show. They remain together. They don't really separate as much. Do they also might have other weapons? Yes. They might even have explosive materials on them as well. So you have to think of that too, as you're fighting this guy. The whole thing is to get out. Go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, in the case like, I would say, was it Charlotte, North Carolina? I mean,
Church.
North Carolina?
Church.
Yeah, when the shooter comes in and you don't see the gun, and they come and sit down, you know, and I guess maybe feeling things out or whatever. I don't know what was in that shooter's mind, but if you don't know that it's a shooter,
Well,
and then they take the gun out and start shooting.
okay. So in a situation in South Carolina, the church, I believe,
Yes.
and we've done this with churches, recent churches in Harlem. We've done a lot of churches. We'll come in and actually do a whole scenario for them. Say the shooter came in from an area you can't see, and you hear shots fired. Your instincts should tell you that sounds like gunshots, right? Either take cover, go under the bench, take cover, or know your closest exit, like Marcus said earlier. Know the exits. Shots. Something's wrong here. I got to get out of here. Run. Go to the closest exit. If you can't run and you're right in a hot zone, I called it a hot zone, but you're right there, you may have to, like Ron did to me, take your jacket, throw it on from behind him, get him distracted, and then everyone stomps on him and grabs him. Listen, I could be the strongest person in the world, and I'm not. That wrist is a weak. So you hit that and people start stomping on someone, that wrist is going to let go of that firearm. Even if it's a long gun. This is a short gun. But a long gun's the same method. Comes in, the wrist is the weakest point of our bodies here. Right? Now, on top of that, throwing the objects and using weapons threw me off. That's the biggest key here. And again, when you hear the shots fired, that's what scares people, the sound. Once you realize your life is in a situation where you might die, that sound, you're gonna fight. So, anybody have any other questions besides that one? Anyone else have any questions? Any questions? Go ahead, ma'am.
I just wanted to ask you a question. Suppose, okay, I'm getting your information, so I know to go and attack, but everybody else did not get your information. So they're all running in the other direction. Do I still do that, or should I be running with them?
If you can get out of the location, get out. If you're stuck in a situation where where the shooter, and in other words, you're stuck with that shooter. Yes, if you're there and you know you're in a situation where you can't get out, you got to fight, you're going to have to fight. But if you know you can get out, get out. Or hide. That's another thing, hide. And if you hide in the area, you barricade yourself, you do not open that door. Anyone, don't open that door until you know it's the police. You don't want to know because a gunman might come by, open it, it doesn't open, he goes on. How do we know it's the police? The police are going to scream, You're going to hear radios, transmissions. You're going to know that's the police. That's when you open the door. If we have people that are shot on the floor, we ask everybody, if you see people shot, our first goal is to save lives and to terminate the killer. We're going to go into that location to terminate the killer. We know there's someone shot. We're going to get them help. We are going to get them help. But we got to get that threat and eliminate that threat immediately. If you're coming to an area where we're coming in, the police are coming in, and if the police are coming in, they're going to come with guns drawn because we don't know who the threat is. Just remember, don't point at us. We don't know who you are. We don't know what the situation is. We're going to be just, let me see your hands, let me see your hands as we're running in. We're going to scream to you, let me see your hands, so we know we're safe. Because we're trained to make sure if your hands are here, we're safe. But could that shooter be running with the crowd? So we are looking to see if we have anybody acting suspicious running in that crowd where maybe his hand is holding the gun. So if we don't see a hand, we're going to be concerned. We may turn around and order you to the ground and order you some commands until we feel safe with you. Okay? So anybody have any other questions? Ron, you anything?
One thing, if you decide to take down the shooter, down in the room, and for some reason you are one of the civilians and you have the gun pointed at that civilian, if the cop comes in the room, make sure you do not have that gun in your hand. Because when they come in that room, they don't know who the shooter is at that time. Don't turn to them and point the gun because you're going to get shot.
No, do not
all right?
If you don't have to touch it, fine, don't touch it. But Ron had a very good point. Thank you. The police don't know who the shooter is. We don't know who it is. So if you're safeguarding that gun don't have it in your hand. Make sure you put it under a garbage can. You put it somewhere and let the cops know where it's at, okay? Any other questions? Anybody have any questions? Okay. What we're going to do is show a 5-minute video. Hopefully I covered everything verbally. 5-minute video we're going to show you. This video is from the Homeland Security. It's a little outdated, maybe 6-7 years old maybe about, but it's the same message, what to do. God forbid you're in a situation where you come across an active shooter. Unfortunately today, this is what we got to live with now. In churches, in malls, in schools, it's happening everywhere now. Movie theaters, everywhere. So here's this video. It's called Run, Hide, and Fight. It's on the internet just as well.
So before my suggestion of hiding, one, after it, fight.
If you run out and get that way, you run. If you're close by and you can hide, hide. And if you can't get out of the location and you have no other choice, fight.
Are you ready
To survive.
do something?
Yep, that's right.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When they're looking around, but I don't think we put the lights out.
It's true. I said earlier, this place is not a good place to actually prevent an active shooter because it's all glass. Not sure if this is motion detector or not in here. I don't see a switch either. I don't know if it's outside. Oh, we got lights out.
It's out there. He's all the way outside. He said turn them off for a minute. Did you see that?
Yes, turn the lights on, please.
Turn them off for a minute.
On.
Okay, so they can see what's what.
Turn them off.
It may feel like just another day at the office, but occasionally, life feels more like an action movie than reality. The authorities are working hard to protect you and to protect our public spaces. But sometimes bad people do bad things. their motivations are different. The warning signs may vary, but the devastating effects are the same. And unfortunately, you need to be prepared for the worst. If you were ever to find yourself in the middle of an active shooter event, your survival may depend on whether or not you have a plan. The plan doesn't have to be complicated. There are 3 things you could do that make a difference. Run, hide, fight. First and foremost, if you can get out, do. Always try and escape or evacuate, even when others insist on staying. Encourage others to leave with you, but don't let them slow you down with indecision. Remember what's important, you, not your stuff. Leave your belongings behind and try to find a way to get out safely. Trying to get yourself out of harm's way needs to be your #1 priority. Once you are out of the line of fire, try to prevent others from walking into the danger zone and call 911. If you can't get out safely, you need to find a place to hide. Act quickly and quietly. Try to secure your hiding place the best you can. Turn out lights, and if possible, remember to lock doors. Silence your ringer and vibration mode on your cell phone. And if you can't find a safe room or closet, try to conceal yourself behind large objects that may protect you. Do your best to remain quiet and calm. As a last resort, if your life is at risk, whether you are alone or working together as a group, fight. Act with aggression. Improvise weapons. Disarm him. And commit to taking the shooter down, no matter what. Try to be aware of your environment. Always have an exit plan. Know that in an incident like this, victims are generally chosen randomly. The event is unpredictable and may evolve quickly. The first responders on the scene are not there to evacuate or tend to the injured. They are well trained and are there to stop the shooter. Your actions can make a difference for your safety and survival. Be aware and be prepared. And if you find yourself facing an active shooter, there are 3 key things you need to remember to survive. Run, hide, fight.
So I hope I covered everything that the video showed. I hope I did. So hopefully you have an idea how to prevent yourself or prepare yourself for an active shooter.
That was not the caliber of shooter that we respect.
Yeah.
More,
Go ahead.
If I'm teaching the class, what should I do with the students? And I'm in charge of them. How they like to
You would barricade the door. You close the door if you hear it outside and you can't get out. You would automatically close the door, barricade the door with as much furniture you can if you can. You can use your belt, tie up the belt, the door stoppers. You can use in the bottom to push it, they can't open up. You would want to spread everyone out, all the students spread across. Let them know, shut the lights off. If anybody does come in here, if it's the shooter, we're all going to fight. We're going to take whatever we have, the pocketbooks, your phones, your chairs, whatever you have to fight to survive. Go ahead.
And what if there is a chance to run? Should you run?
If you can get out of the location, everybody should run out together.
Independently.
Run out together.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an exit somewhere close by, you can get out. Get out. Okay. Any other questions?
run is number one.
To run, it all depends on the situation. If it's close by and you can't run, we want you to hide. If it's hearing people giving you warnings with PA systems, to please remain located, lock yourself in place, shelter in place, remain there until authorities give you the permission is cleared. You would remain in the location, maybe barricade yourself depending on the directions you're going to get from the police.
And while you're hiding, you do the
Yes.
I had an incident happen to me about 15 years ago. The cops came and knocked on my, you know how they knock, right? But I didn't call them. And they said, open the door. I said, I'm not opening no door. I didn't call y'all. So what I did, I got on the phone and called 911.
That's
They
fine.
said they ain't never heard nobody call the cops on the cop.
If you're not sure it's the police, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. If you're not sure it's the police, call 911, let them know. We believe there's someone here saying that police officers, you never know if it's a home invasion, you never know. But you're right, you did the right thing. Any other questions? Okay, well, again, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hopefully you never have to use this preparation at all, and everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks very much. Okay, appreciate that. Let's give a round of applause to the public safety. Okay, thank you for that.
And if you ever want us to do a workshop at your church, your schools, wherever, reach out to Angela Harding, reach out to us. We'll come over. We have no problem doing it.
Okay, great. Okay, we're going to take a brief pause, and when we come back, we're going to hear from, I think the Harlem Emergency Network is back up next, or is it Carol? We're going to take a brief break, so hang tight. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. 7th annual Harlem Community Preparedness Day. And we're pleased to have with us this afternoon Ms. Carol Johnson from the East Harlem Co-ed. Welcome, Carol. Okay. Carol's going to talk to us about the East Harlem Co-ed and how important it is to engage community organizations in emergency preparedness. Carol Johnson.
Thank you, Stu. We want to first thank Stu Reed, Angela Harding, WHCR, and EBT Radio for having us. And this is our 7th year here, so, we're thankful for the continuity. When we're talking about important things, it's important for people to realize how important it is. And every year there's more people here, so something must be getting through. We just want to talk about staying safe. What is the most important thing in your life? There you go. You are the most important person in this room. And I see a lot of people fit into the realm I fit in. I mean, black don't crack, I know, but there's a lot of us in here that are seniors. Right? There's a lot of us who live alone. And so there's a lot of us, I see walkers and canes, and I have my chair back there. So there's a walker there, my friend from 112th Street. So I see a lot of people with walking apparatuses. And so that makes it just that more difficult. And the bottom line is, who's going to help you when something happens? We live on the yo-yo effect. Now, there may be friends around. There may be relatives around. There may be a lot of people that you think are around, but it depends on what happens. How around you will they be? Because they're too busy trying to save themselves. And that means family, friends, neighbors, all the people that you thought you could depend on. And it's not the time to say, wow, that's my cousin. I thought they were going to help me. It's not the time to worry about that. That's my sister. I thought when people's lives are at stake, there's a natural reaction in the brain, fight or flight. You either fight the situation at work or you run. It's every man for himself. And so we clearly work. Hen, I also work with Hen. Here's Haja, brother Haja, Wally, brother Bob Ponce in the back, Hen, Harlem Emergency Network. And so we work on the yo-yo method. You're on your own. So now the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to wait until the blackout comes and you don't have any food and you don't have any water in your house and you know you can't leave your house because you don't know who's running around looking to victimize people in that building? So you can't leave your home. You haven't gotten any extra water. What you going to do? Suppose the blackout lasts 3 days. What are you going to do? Who do you think is coming to help you? Any answers? Who's coming? So you're going to be stuck in that house for 3 days. You can live without food for 3 days. It's more difficult to live without liquids, water. And the thing about it is a lot of us in our community, diabetics, high blood pressure, you need water. Sickle cell, even those with sickle cell trait. I have sickle cell trait. My sickle cell trait put me in a wheelchair. And there's a lot of us who have a sickle cell trait, I'm realizing now. We have 9 out of the 11 syndromes. I have 9 out of the 11 syndromes of sickle cell. But I'm still listed as a trait carrier. So I'm finding more and more and more of us around. And those are things that we need to check on too, because the thing about it is when something happens and you need medical care, you need to know what your situation is. You need to know exactly what it is that you take. You need to know who your doctors are. You need to know how it's prescribed. And that's what the East Harlem Co-ed does. Community Organizations Active in Disasters. We teach people how to create a go bag. Who knows what a go bag is? Okay, same hands, keep your hands up. Of all those people with your hands up, if you have a go bag, keep your hand up. Only if you have a go bag, keep your hand up. Okay, now see, that's a small percentage because the co-ed has been together for 4 years. This is what we do on a regular basis, teach, and I'm here every year. And to have 5 or 6 people in this room that have go bags, that's pretty sad. But what I'm going to do today, I got information in the back. There's a few people that have stopped and got the information. We're going to give you the information on how to prepare a go bag. You don't have to do a whole lot. You don't have to put a whole lot in it. Just start it today. Vital information that you need. Copies of your red, white, and blue card. Copies of your driver license. You can put all of those cards on one sheet of paper and make a copy of them. Just a front copy of your lease, your apartment lease. Just where it says, I, Carolyn Johnson, reside in such and such, so-and-so in that apartment, and here's my signature. That's all you need to be able to prove that you live there. If you can get a copy of your keys. Because here's the problem with the go bag. I actually have one back there. Bob, can you get that little purple go bag off of there? This is the go bag that I ride around with every day. Why? Because something may happen and I can't get back in my house. So what am I going to do? You know, so I believe in being prepared at all times. We don't come to scare, we come to prepare you. And so these are the things that I run around with. Simple items. I have the stuff back there on a list. First aid kit. These are all things that you can get at the dollar store. I even have a list of stores where you can go and get these items. We keep it real simple. We don't want you to have to fight. This little bag is my go bag. This is the bag I carry around every day. Because especially, I got to think out of the box. Because also, not only am I a senior woman, I'm a handicapped woman who uses a wheelchair. So the fact of the matter is, even if I get back to my building and something is going wrong and people can walk up to their apartments, I can't walk up to my apartment. So I'm going to be forced to have to stay out. I've made arrangements with some friends. I've made arrangements with some family. You know, my family is the Pitts. I wouldn't depend on them because actually I'm afraid that they might send me into a bad situation. I mean, for real. I mean, let's be real. We hear more and more today. If we need to be honest about ourselves, we see the jealousy, the shade in our own families. We don't want to get caught up in what should be. If I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you about the real side of it. You got people that are jealous, and they would not help you. They'll act like they'll help you, but they're waiting for something to happen to you because there's something about you. You're the golden child in the family. We don't want her to do okay. You got to think for yourself. You got to think for yourself. Don't worry about nobody else. Toiletries. The little individual sized toiletries. When I used to travel, I used to sing all over the world, all over the United States. I used to make a habit of collecting all those little lotions and shampoos and toothbrush and toothpaste. I used to collect all of these things. And so they became a part of my go bag. I don't want to unpack it because it's real hard to repack. And this one is tearing, so I have to get another bag. But it served me now for 4 years. And it's hard to repack. That's the thing about it. We wear leggings, those little leggings. Fold them up. Anything that folds up small, ladies. Guys, shorts. Stay away from jeans, heavy things with a lot of pockets in it that make it bulky and hard to fold up. T-shirt. You know, I have a sports bra in there. I don't have anything in there with those underwires. Now, when I got a good bra on, stuff may be sitting up here. When I put on a sports bra, no telling where it's going to show up. May end up down here. But it's not a fashion show. I'm not trying to get a man. I'm trying to stay safe. Okay? You know, a sweater. Roll it up. You don't know. A hat. A pair of socks. Because you don't know what season it's going to be. Now, if the police knock on your door, like the gentleman that was here a little while ago, police knock on your door, firemen knock on your door 2 o'clock in the morning, and you have to run. They're not going to let you, wait a minute, wait. Okay, hold up, I got to go get my bag. My bag's in the back room. Wait, where's my keys, oh, Donnie? Where's my key? Nobody's going to wait for you to find keys. Nobody's going to wait for you to find anything. You would be lucky if you will get a coat that's close to the front door because guess what? What was the first question I asked? Who's the most important person in this room? That means the first responders are the most important person on any scene too. And it's their job to get back out alive. It's their job to get out as safe as they can. Because while you're running out the building, they're the ones that could be suffering from smoke inhalation. Those masks and everything only protect them for but so much. So such a, a certain amount of time. So if you have a bag with those copies of essential items, because eventually you're going to have to get back into that apartment, you got to do what? Prove you live there. You got to prove you live there. Because see, once I come out the building and I tell you, and if I have to go to a temporary shelter, and I can say to you, well, my name is Carol Johnson. Prove it. I take Lipitor, I have a heart problem. Prove it. I live in 1591, apartment 13E. I've been living there 28 years. Prove it. Nobody's going to break the lock off on the door, especially if you're slam lock. Nobody's going to break the lock off your door because you say you live there. That bag is going to have that information that this is where you live. If you have a copy of the keys, we used to always say keep a copy of the keys, but in a lot of cases, who remembers the gas explosion on East Harlem? So I was some of the first boots on the ground because I'm also a trained first responder. So a lot of those apartments that were vacated, that were repaired, they didn't have the same locks. So generally when we say make a copy of your keys, it's something like you might have to evacuate to a temporary fire in the building, but they're fixing up the apartment. It didn't really affect your apartment. Or your apartment. So your keys may work to your apartment, but if it's a fire in the building somewhere else and they have to evacuate, those apartment keys, those apartment locks will be changed. But your keys will still work. So it depends on it. What's the big deal? Going and spending a couple of dollars to get a copy of your keys. Food, water, tuna fish. Things in a can, things that you don't have to fix, heat up. You don't want baked beans because baked beans is full of gas. And that's the last thing you need to be is evacuating and let loose around the room. That might get you put out. But I mean, in that bag, I have like a health bar. I got a couple of health bars. Watch the sugar. Watch the salt content if you have a problem with sugar and salt. And if you don't want to get one during the time of an emergency. You want to be careful. So a bottle of water, medications, whatever medications you take. And some of us who get medication who's on Medicare, disability, you don't get extra medication. You can only get your medication maybe 2 or 3 days before the next prescription is due, right? But on the outside of all the bags now, they put the printout. There's a printout that you have, right? Outside the bag on everybody's medications. Take that printout and put it in the bag. That will not only tell what you take, how much you take, but your doctor's name will already be on it, so it will prove. That will be your proof. When you say, I take Lipitor, there's my proof. Okay, so now you're showing you that's showing me proof that you have Lipitor. Everybody in here got a picture ID? Some hands. Who doesn't have a picture ID? It's not to embarrass you. I just want to know who does not have an ID with their picture on it. Everybody. Okay. Because, and if you know anybody that doesn't, they have that New York C ID. Now it's not going to work in a lot of places. It won't work as ID in banks. But it will be ID to prove who you are. And once you put those things in there, put a book in there, something small, a game, something to keep you occupied. If you can, a first aid kit. Anybody wear readers? Don't wear glasses on a regular basis, but readers? These are readers. They're prescribed readers. But what I did was I went to the dollar store. Everything I'm talking about, I got from the dollar store. I went to the dollar store. I pulled those dollar readers off. I grabbed something off the shelf. Okay, 150 is too strong. 200 is too strong. 175 is too strong. 150 works. I put the readers in my bag. If I gotta leave in a hurry, who's gonna let me run back for my readers? And I can't see much in front of my face. I gotta have readers. They would be useless without some readers. Anybody use a cane? Go online, get one of those fold-up canes. You can attach that cane to the outside of your bag. I've got a fold-up one that I have in my basket, but this is not my regular go bag. If I have to evacuate out my house, I have a go bag that is actually a knapsack and a pulley, because I may have to leave my scooter behind, and I can only take that backpack. Make sure that it's comfortable for you. Personalize it. What you need. You know, I like to play Sudoku. I got a little Sudoku game in there. I got batteries. I got a flashlight. Get those LED battery flashlights, because they last a lot longer. You know, mine, I have LEDs that spend like 5 years. You know, and like I said, again, $1. Sometimes you can get 2 of them for $1. And you put one in your bedroom. Put one, if you can get a few of them, keep them around the house, but put one in your bag. And the other thing is a whistle. A whistle is important because you don't want to yell and scream and hyperventilate. I always have to recall a story in Queens, the 2 people that were during Sandy, and you had the man in one apartment, his neighbor was yelling for help. And then when they finally came through a couple of days later, the responders came through, he said, "I'm fine. I got a few things I heard about in the go bag. It wasn't an expensive bag. It was just a tote bag. But he had a whistle in there. He had some extra food. He had some extra water. He had a few things that he heard about in a presentation like this. He got started. It wasn't elaborate. Check on my neighbor, because she was yelling, but I haven't heard her. That lady was dead. Now, how she died, we don't know. But one thing we know, yelling and screaming, you're going to hyperventilate. And you're afraid. The whole thing that first responders are looking for, they're looking for sounds. They're listening for sounds. Blowing a whistle, because whistles echo. They're always looking for a sound. Sounds reverberate. That's what they're looking for. You yelling, you're going to get weak. You lose your ability. You may pass out. If you hyperventilate, there's a chance you'll pass out. So you want to make noise. You want to take something heavy, like this cane. That's what they're listening for. You want to find something. You want to hit on a hard surface, a metal surface. Something as hard as you can. Wood makes a different sound. Wood sometimes gives you a muted sound. But metal on metal, you're going to get that reverberating sound. That's what you want to get. So you're going to keep all that stuff in that go bag. But at the same time, you got to shelter in place if you can't get out. So the same principle applies. But if you're in your home, you have a medical situation, you might get a cut. You got a first aid kit, you know where to find it. But it's still a good idea to try to keep those things together in your house in one place. So when you go to seek one thing, you can find everything. You don't know what's going to happen. You wake up in a blackout, you go to turn on the light, there's no lights. You lived in that apartment 30 years. You know? It's very easy to fall and trip and get confused when you wake up. And so you're in a familiar place. But waking up and there's no light, panic automatically sets in. Anxiety sets in. A lot of us like those cute little duralies on the ground, those little, little throw rugs. Very dangerous. Because if you wake up in a blackout and you're moving around, you don't remember that. You're scared. You don't know what happened. That's in my brown bag, that thing that's going off. That's my alarm. You know, so you want to prepare to have the same things at home: tuna fish, salmon, sardines, crackers, peanuts, try to get the dried nuts. They're very tasty, even without the salt. You know, these are things that not only are nutritious, but they're filling. You don't want something that's going to constantly make you thirsty. Make sure you have a portable can opener. If you have no electricity, the electric one is not going to work. You know, dried fruits, nuts, stuff like that. It doesn't take much. Crackers, those little cheese and crackers, a thing of peanut butter, a jar of peanut butter. Just have, wheat thins. There you go. That's what I got in mind. Wheat thins. I have an area in my closet. That's my shelter in place stuff. Make sure when you get your stuff, get it with a very far off expiration date. It's almost 2020. You want to try to find stuff 2021, 22, 23. Water. Be careful about your water. Water doesn't expire, but the bottles do. So you want to get bottles that are like 2. You could probably get bottles that's good for the next 8 years. But I don't know if anybody ever had water in there in a closet that they had for a long time, and then they found a puddle. The bottle disintegrates after a while. So you want to make sure that you get a far off expiration date. You can go to the dollar store, get 40 bottles of water for $3. So there's really no excuse. 40 bottles of water. Look out for those days when they got 2-for-1 sales, when you could go into a supermarket and you could get 2-for-1 cans of soup. Different things like that. Now, in the event that there's a blackout and you have no energy, see, we have another direction that we go. You got to be real careful with it. But you know the racks, the sterno racks, and you get the little pans. Get yourself some little pans and a sterno. Put it in an area away from everybody. And put some, you want some beans? Put your beans in there and heat them up. You want some corn? Put your corn in there and heat it up. Don't pile up your refrigerator with a whole lot of meats and stuff, because in the summertime especially, power go out, that meat is going out. So what I do is whenever I buy meat, I wash it, I make sure it's clean, I season it, I got it ready. I freeze it. Because if a blackout is coming, I don't have to worry about washing it or doing nothing else. I don't have no electricity, it'll thaw out soon enough. I'm going to pour some oil in that sterno. I'm going to light up that grease. I'm going to throw that chicken in there, have me some chicken or a pork chop or some fries or something. But I'm going to eat good. And that's what it's all about, personalizing things for yourself and thinking out the box. Just because you stuck don't mean you got to stay stuck. Just because it may not be the best thing in a gourmet meal, you can still make it the best meal you ever had for that time. You know, so you keep those items, and, you know, it's another great thing to have in a bag, in the go bag, that Mylar blanket. Anybody seen those little silver Mylar blankets? You have? True story. I don't know what happened to the heat in my apartment. And I got really, I mean, my head was like blowing up. I live in a co-op, and I want to know where my heat is. So I had on 5 pairs of sweatsuits, 5 pair sweatpants, 5 shirts. I had on 2 hats. I was freezing. I had about 5 comforters. I was freezing. I said, oh my God, I'm not going to survive this. I said, wait a minute, what are you thinking about? I went and got that Mylar blanket, that dollar blanket. That blanket is big enough to go from where you are past me. It's about this long. When you open it up, I put that Mylar blanket over me. I had to start peeling everything off. Everything. I took off all those sweatsuits, all those sweatshirts. I went and got a short sleeve because I always sleep in something. I ain't married. Ain't no need to have to sleep. No. But, you know, there's nobody there to see it, so I always sleep in something. So I put on a short sleeve t-shirt and some shorts. And I pulled that blanket over me, and I went to sleep. I pulled it over my head. I was able to take the hats off. That's how much heat this thing holds. And they're big enough to hold 2 people, where 2 people could wrap it. It's an excellent thing to have in there. So make sure you've got that flashlight, the whistle, the Mylar blanket, gloves. You don't know what the situation is going to be. You may have to crawl. There may be some type of an explosion like it was in East Harlem, where you had apartments that had to be vacated. Those apartments, some of them split. The living room floor split. The whole building shook. People had to crawl to get to the elevator. So we've seen this. This is in where we live, here in the city, not in houses that's experiencing hurricanes and earthquakes. This was a gas explosion that affected the next building. You get them in dollar stores. When back there, I have a list of about 20 different dollar stores where you can go. You don't have to write it down. The list is on my table. You got dollar stores all over. Mine is basically towards East Harlem, but generally if there's one, you got dollar stores all over the city. You got Dollar Trees all over the city, you know. And those are the kind of places where you can get that. So you want to get some of those heavy work gloves just in case, you know. And it doesn't hurt to get some of the, what's the other one, Bob? The ones you use like in the hospital. I'm a nurse and I can't remember. The latex. Thank you. Latex gloves in there. You know, the main thing is just to be safe and just to build the bag. Build the bag. Build it as you go. Nobody expects you to go to the store and buy everything, but get started. Because the one thing we learn about emergencies, if you know a little bit about what to do, maybe in the beginning you'll get a little nervous, but what you know will kick in, even just a little bit. But if you know nothing, you've got nothing to kick in. And like I said, we are the people that go to the shelters, so we see the people who have had this spiel. I saw people in the shelters they were sitting in my audience like 10, 12 times. They got 10 and 12 go bags, going around the city getting go bags from the governor's program. Not one bag is personalized. Nothing is in the go bag. I mean, Dad, how much does somebody have to give you for you to take your life, your own life, into consideration and that you will be important to you? If I'm giving you a starter kit with a flashlight and a whistle and a blanket and gloves and goggles and both types of gloves and water and food and all, what more do you want from somebody else to protect your own life? And these people sit up in the shelters after they have gotten 9 and 10 go bags, didn't personalize them. They're sitting up there with nothing but the clothes on their back, and they still can't figure out who they are. So I'm telling you from example, we do this on a regular basis. And just because we're sitting here right now, when is the next emergency going to take place? Somebody tell me. What day? What time? What month? So you know what? Today just may be my day, your time, your month, your apartment, your house. It could happen today. And that's right. And that's the reason why we say you may not have it now, but today you need to start getting busy today. Or tomorrow at least, have your mindset on staying safe. You're on your own. And the life you save may be yours. Thanks for coming. Please see the back table and all the information that we have for you. And also, we actually, the East Harlem Co-Ed is having a go bag, a build your own go bag. That's what we do. So, we doing this on September 26th. You can see me in the back. You must sign up for this event. What did I say? The 26th? The 28th. Saturday, the 28th. It's free, but you must register. And we will also be giving out starter go kits. Radio is what I forgot. Transistor radio. Keep it tuned to 90.3. Because guess who's not going to be checking on you when something happens? 1010 Wins, ABC, NBC, CBS, all the internet stations. You're not going to hear anything about here. And I'll tell you exactly why. When we had the storm, there was a cascading storm on 145th Street in the 145th Street train station. A waterfall. You remember it? It was deemed the worst one in the city. And 9 o'clock that morning, thousands and thousands of videos was being sent and constantly being sent to all the news casters, all of the news stations, the internet news stations. Anybody know what time 445th Street finally showed up on the news? Take a guess. It started 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock a.m., 9 p.m. that night. 12 hours later was the first time they decided to put it on the air, and it was immediately deemed the worst one in the city. So now that ought to tell you how much you're going to hear about what's happening in your neck of the woods. This is the place to tune in. WHCR. Keep that radio on WHCR. So if you can come out and you want to sign up for our Go Back experience on next Saturday, see me in the back. I will sign you up at the website. You will get a starter Go Bag, a cute little bag. You'll get a radio, flashlight, Mylar blanket, gloves, water, health bar, just a starter kit. And then next year when I come back, I want y'all to come and I want you to bring your Go Bags, because this year we have an incentive, a Go Bag Challenge. Who knew about the Go Bag Challenge today? Who bought their Go Bags today? Okay, well, this lady here, Miss Kim, is the only one. We're going to give out a nice cash prize. She might be the winner. But next year, at the same time, when we have Harlem Emergency Preparation Day, we're going to do this every year. Whoever has the best Go Bag will win a cash prize. If she's the only one in the house with the Go Bag, it looked like... Bob, you want to show what they're going to win, since you got everybody's attention? You don't have to. Mine is personalized because I'm handicapped. I may not be able to get in my house. But it's not a bad idea.
Can't hear you.
Excuse me, we put out 5,000 flyers that talked about the Go Bag Challenge.
Right.
We talked about it on the radio several times. We sent out emails. We have one person who came to see the Go Bag Challenge. This is Benjamin Franklin.
Okay, Carol Johnson, do we give Carol a round of applause?
See that? What you gonna win?
Okay. And we have a special guest that is going to come and speak to us in a moment. The Deputy Commissioner from the New York City Emergency Management Agency. So we're just going to take a brief pause while I go gather her. Hang tight. You know, the Deputy Commissioner from NYCEM just came, and Dale's not come. We just got a message. So I'm about to introduce the Deputy Commissioner, so maybe you might want to come in. Hi, hey, go ahead. Stuart. Yeah, yeah. How far up you got to go? Okay, real quick. Yes, you just finished your presentation. Carol? Linda? No. Go, we got to run. We got a deputy commissioner. Okay, we're back. Harlem Emergency Preparedness Day, our 7th annual event. And right now, we are pleased to have a guest speaker with us. She is the Deputy Commissioner of the New York City Emergency Management Agency, Christina Farrell. Please give Ms. Farrell your attention and welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me. Although if Carol just spoke, I don't know if there's anything left. I know she covered all the bases because she's one of our top volunteers. But I want to thank you all for being here during National Preparedness Month. We're about 2/3 of the way through, I think. For New York City Emergency Management, every day is Preparedness Day because our job is to prepare New Yorkers all over the city. Obviously, yeah, no problem. Obviously, that is a lot of people. But you know, there's such a coordinated effort up here with the radio station, having all the agencies outside, the table in back. So you guys are definitely ahead of the game. You already have the yellow bags with some of the materials. So, you know, I really just want to say thank you for taking the time. We all know, we see time and time again, Hurricane Dorian a couple weeks ago. Right now there's serious flooding in Houston, Texas. You know, and for a long time, New Yorkers, we get through everything. We take the train, you know, we'll walk, we'll do whatever to get there. So we thought, you know, we were immune, right? Or we would just push through it. And then September 11th happened, the 2003 blackout, Hurricane Sandy. And, you know, we realized that really isn't the best strategy, right? Even if we all do get through it, why suffer? You know, take a few steps, prepare yourself, prepare your neighbors. So whether you listen to emergency management, the Red Cross, fire, your partners here, the important thing is that you get prepared, that you learn what Notify NYC is. You sign up for that through your phone, through email, text, the app, whatever works for you. You know, and you get the important information that you have. So I just, again, want to thank you all for being here, for taking a minute. And I would ask, once you prepare yourself, you know, kind of teach one, help one. So maybe try to prepare someone else, someone in your family, one of your friends, so we can all, you know, get through the emergencies that much better together. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell, the Deputy Commissioner, New York City Emergency Management. Okay, next we have up the Harlem Emergency Network presentation. These guys are a really incredible, innovative team of emergency preparedness professionals. Here at WHCR Emergency Broadcast Team, we work very closely with the Harlem Emergency Network, also called HEN. They use very innovative communication techniques, including walkie-talkies, shortwave radios, walkie-talkie on your cell phone, and other innovative ways to collect information out in the community and to feed it to us here back at WHCR FM so that we can get that information out to you, the public, so you can know what's going on right here in our communities. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome up Bob Ponce, Wally Abdul-Noor, Haja Worley, and the Harlem Emergency Network team. Thank you. Okay. Soon come.
Well, they stuck the mic in my hand, so I guess I got to say something. My name is Wally Abdul-Noor. I've been here with the station since, I don't know, 1989. And it's actually through the station that I got involved in emergency preparedness. We started in a class, Haja and I. And anybody else in here that was in that class? Okay. But anyway, back in 2005 we started, and we learned quite a bit from the CERT program. It's an excellent foundation for learning how to deal with emergencies, and not only just emergencies, personal, but how to deal with the situations in the city. You get caught in a subway. You get caught on a bridge. You learn about psychological first aid. There's a number of courses that they give that the average person doesn't realize that you need in an emergency. So we got all of that, and then also we got involved in a lot of exercises and one of the exercises he and I were in was down in Brooklyn, where they said, okay, you guys come in as people that are stressed out and, you know, just crazy. And I want you to really do it. And they had, you know, first responders sitting around, and they were supposed to be, you know, signing us in. And so some of the people just went off, you know, made a big thing. And it got so serious, it was just an exercise that somebody almost got in a fight, a serious fight. And I had to think about that, because that was just an exercise. So what would have really happened if it was real? So we came up through that. We came up through Irene, and then we came to Sandy. And by that time, we had gotten involved with radios and whatnot. And we basically, our group wasn't in Sandy, but we were monitoring the radio. And what we were hearing on the radio was like really, 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 I never heard people screaming. And every time I talk about it, I get emotional about it. Because, I mean, people, even one of one of the staff here, he was saying he lived in Far Rockaway. He lived on the second floor, and he could hear the water hitting on his floor. I know for a fact that there was a period of time that the system that I was listening to was the only system that connected Far Rockaway with the rest of New York. The fire trucks were underwater. A whole police station was underwater. I mean, there was no communication. I mean, it was bad. So that's what spurred us here to realize that we need this kind of we need to get our act together up here. And that's what started WHCR EBT. And then from that, that's where Hen came from. So that's enough for me.
All right, how about a hand for Wally Abdul Noor? Hates having to talk in front of a crowd. My name is Bob Ponce, and I never met a microphone I didn't like. I am pleased to be a WHCR on-air personality, but I've been doing radio. This is my 43rd year doing radio, and I'm hopefully I get another 10, 20, 30, or 40, you know, and maybe right here at WHCR. My show is Soul Lounge Primetime, 7 p.m. To 8 p.m. on Monday evening, so tune in. We interview people from Harlem. We play music. We talk about the news, but not every day. But here we're talking about emergency preparedness. And we want to talk to you a little bit about what Hen has been doing since you last saw us. So let's see if we can get, how does this, page up, page down. Yeah. Oh, something there says resume slideshow over there. Yeah, okay. All right, wrong slideshow. Okay.
That's Ramona. She was with me in Hodges.
Okay, slideshow. There we go. Yeah, manually, yeah. All right, so I can just keep it. Okay. All right, Harlem Emergency Network. This is a picture of us from yesterday, as a matter of fact. We did an event called Harlem Ready for Better Food and Water, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But our focus is on, we talk about 7 survival priorities. 7 priorities that if you take care of these 7 priorities, you've got a very, very good chance of surviving everything. So they're food, water, shelter, health and medicine, power, communications, and sanitation. Now, we focus on communications because if you're in 1 East 125th Street and you got 1,000 gallons of water but no food, and if you're in 5 East 125th Street and you got food but no water, you'd want to get those 2 together. But if you don't have communications, if you don't know that right next door there's water, and if you don't know that right next door there's food, then you could may as well be 500 miles away instead of right next door. So, we've made it our mission to start to connect the dots, connect organizations, connect people, and create a communications platform so that we could share information during an emergency. So why do we need Harlem Emergency Network? Because we know that a major disaster is going to stretch government resources beyond capacity. And community-based networks like what we do, we add resources if properly coordinated. And government priority in a major disaster is to maintain the government, the physical infrastructure, not necessarily the people. Whereas what our priorities are the people in Harlem. And so that's why we do what we do. And the disasters we talk about, climate change, power outage, major accident, increased terrorist activity, hazardous nuclear infrastructure. Oh, that could never happen here. Well, they could never knock down the World Trade Center. That could never happen here. So, saying it could never happen there is not a plan. And, we started out by saying we're scared. We're not scared. We're prepared. And so the most important thing you can have to survive is your mindset. And the reason we have Emergency Preparedness Month, the reason we have Harlem Preparedness Day, the reason we have Harlem Ready Week is to get your mindset, share information that's going to help you. So there's a wealth of resources in this community. We want to identify it. We want to share that information. We partner with a bunch of organizations to go ahead. So planning ahead helps you find these resources. Having the relationships, using technology, mindset, and then train. And so we do meetings twice a month on Wednesdays. Currently, we're meeting at the mosque on 116th Street and Lenox Avenue, the first and third Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. And we've done Stop the Bleed training. We've done a variety of different emergency community training. This fall, we'll probably do some things on food preparation and storing food. And so get on our mailing list, and we will continue. We will share more information for you. Again, the 7 survival priorities I talked about. Next slide. So, we partner with these organizations, obviously WHCR, the borough president, NYCEM, you saw the deputy commissioner. She was actually at our very first annual Harlem Emergency Preparedness Week's Day 7 years ago. It's very good to see her back. But as I said, we even get the information. So NYCEM is very, very good at helping us to get prepared. But they also tell us in their own way that the resources are not there for you. And so we use a quote that we share very, very frequently. And it's a quote from one of NYCEM's community preparedness manuals. and it's that New York City has resources for approximately 70,000 people for a week in the event of a major, major disaster. So how many people live in New York City? Anybody? How much? How many people live in New York City? See, the lady says 8 million stories in the naked city. Yes, all right, absolutely. But it's actually, today is a Thursday and it's the middle of the day. So that means it's more like 13 million because you have another 5 million who come in for work every day. So out of those people, that 70,000 is less than 1% of the population. That's what the government has. Now, I don't know about you. I don't think I'm in the right 1%. I've never been in that 1%. So you're on your own, yo-yo. And so that's why it's so important to prepare. So we have a bunch of technology platforms. I'll go through them very quickly. The two-way radio network is an outgrowth of what we've done with WHCR, and it is licensed through WHCR. And so why do we do two-way radio? Because as Wally talked about during Hurricane Sandy, the two-way radio was the only thing working. 911 was down, cell phones was down, internet was down, and that two-way radio network was the lifeline. What we've done to it, we've added on to the two-way radio network with a smartphone radio network. So we actually can use our smartphones in our network as the same way that a two-way radio works. We have a text platform. We monitor traffic cams. We monitor first responder radio channels. We use Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Most of our members are now in training to get amateur ham radio licenses. And so whatever advanced digital tools we can use for emergency management, we use it because technology is our tools and we use them to help keep us safe. So this is just kind of example of the emergency radio feeds that we monitor. You see FDNY, you see EMS. We have the same number of things. We can listen to the police channels. And so it gives us an opportunity to get better information. So, one of the things we talked about is that we want to have, during an actual emergency, we want to have the highest quality of information. So HEN is very, very careful to vet the information we give so that when we're sharing that information, because who are we sharing that information? We're sharing it directly through social media to people on our platform. We're sending texts to people on our platform. We're sharing it directly with WHCR. So we're also their eyes and ears in the community. So when we said in an emergency, you take out your battery-operated or hand-crank radio, you already have it tuned to 90.3. What are you going to hear from 90.3? Very likely you're going to hear information that we have collected through HEN, and we transmit through our procedures to WHCR for them to be able to disseminate them. We also have relationships with Harlem Hospital to get information and receive information from them during an emergency. So what we're doing is making sure that we can have a quick response and get information out. By the time that the information gets to, we said, New York 1, WINS, News Radio 88, whatever happens, it could be over. Yeah, absolutely.
No, just the incident that Carol mentioned about the 145th Street train station that took 13 hours to get on the news was on the news 45 minutes after it happened here.
Right. And the same thing, remember that night where it was the big blue light in the sky, right? What happened? What's going on? Are we being invaded? Da-da-da-da. That was happening. We had information out on that we beat the downtown people because when it happened, Wally immediately checked on it. We were able to monitor the first responder channel, so we had direct information about what was going on. And we were able to immediately transmit that, and we got that information out. We got it out on social media. So we respond very quickly. These are traffic cams. So, you know, these are real-time shots. You know, here's 7th Avenue, 110th Street, 2nd Avenue and 125th Street, Amsterdam and 178th, Amsterdam and 125th. And so those cameras can be monitored in real time, and so that gives us an eye on what's going on in our neighborhood. So these are some of the things we've done in the past. We do 2 mobile operations center trainings every year. We do one during the New York City Marathon, and we do one in the spring during the 5-borough bike tour. And what happens, this gives us an opportunity to test and train all the things we just showed you. It's good to know we can do all these things, but if the people who work with us don't know how to do them, then we're not good to anyone. And so we train on these things on a regular basis. Okay, and this is our organizational structure. We're a division of Citizens Emergency Response Network. It's a 501c3 organization. CERN, and aside from what we're doing with Harlem Emergency Network, CERN does a number of health-related programs in the Bronx, and HERN is basically incubating similar operations in the South Bronx to the things that we're doing. And these are some of the people that are involved with us. So without communications, there could be no response. And when major disasters occur, the normal modes of communication usually become inadequate or non-existent. That's why we have multiple platforms. And so our emergency communications is a way for us to share information in real time. So this year, aside from participating in the 7th annual, how about a hand for the 7th annual Harlem Emergency Preparedness Day? So in addition to that, we did at the African American Day Parade, we did the Harlem Ready Tech Fair for the first time. We have a couple of pieces that we brought with us. If you can see on this table there, you see that big, I'm just going to come over here and show you. So this is a battery pack here, and you can plug in anything, household current in here. You can plug your cell phone in here. We can charge our car from it. There are jumpers for your car, and there's something that can inflate tires in here as well. And so this is an all-purpose power pack that can be used in an emergency. This is a solar panel. We can actually use this solar panel to charge this power pack, as well as being able to use this solar panel to charge your cell phones or whatever. And so these are the types of technology that we want people to start being aware and start collecting these things. You don't need another blender. You don't need one of those coffee cup Keurig things for Christmas. Why don't you get one of those? Get a solar panel. This Christmas, when the list goes out, don't ask for a sweater that you need. Get some things that you're not going to hide in the closet after Christmas. Get some things that are going to be useful so that in the event of emergency, it can help you. The second thing, no, go back to that slide. So we did this event yesterday, Harlem Ready for Better Food and Water. So I told you about the 7 survival priorities, food and water, obviously the first ones. And so we want to talk about food as something you need to store for an emergency, but the larger question of food resiliency is still in our community because, number one, we need to be eating better quality food, and we need to be storing that better quality food that we eat. So we did a whole event at Harlem Grown's Impact Garden, which is literally, this is the garden. This is 127th Street. This is in the middle of Harlem. and all around us is nothing but fresh grown food. And so there are flatbeds with collard greens and eggplants and tomatoes and all that. And this structure here is where hydroponic growing is. So you see this inside there, they are growing hydroponically using LED lights and filtered rainwater. And so we have state-of-the-art food technology happening here. And so we were able to do an event where we had a water expert talk about the quality of water in New York and talking about lead and how you test. And we had people talking about how to grow food in your own home, how to urban farm. And the upshot of this event is that we connected with black farmers who are interested in bringing organic, fresh food to Harlem at an affordable price. And so if that's something you're interested in, make sure you sign our mailing list and we'll send you more information on that as it develops. And the final thing, of course, Carol mentioned, if you haven't gotten a go bag or learned how to do a go bag, East Harlem COAD is having their Go Up Go Bag event on Saturday, September 28th at the Dream School, and she has that information for you.
With that better food and water, that's not just food and water, it's tell them about the youth.
Oh, that's right. This is very important. So this, when you talk to Harlem Grown, they will tell you that even though they're doing all this fresh organic growing, their purpose is not to grow organic food. Their purpose is to grow healthy children. So all of the farming is being done by children. And they're learning skills. They're learning skills that are applicable for our new reality, skills that they can go out and get jobs in. And so we were very excited to partner with them, help them, and learn from them. And we were able to listen to a panel of experts that were really just mind-blowing. So ending on talking about the Go Bag event gives me an opportunity to now segue, because it is now time for our first annual Harlem Go Bag Challenge. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the go bags that are registered and we're going to look through them and we're going to crown a winner today.
Okay, I just want to have a round of applause for Bob Ponce and HEN and the important work that they do. Great stuff, guys. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, Carol, are you coming up here? So the purpose of this was to actually, we've been doing these Go Bag events for years and years, and the idea was we wanted to see what people actually learned and how they're doing it. And rather than just let us continue to talk about it, we just wanted to see, because a Go Bag is like a fingerprint. Everyone is different. So we want to go through it, and we want to thank our one contestant.
So you know we have to open your bag and review your items. Okay.
All right. First of all, let's talk about the bag. I like the bag. This is a waterproof bag. It's sturdy. It's got multiple pockets. So the multiple pockets allow you to organize things in a way you can have certain things in the front that you have more access to it. This has side pockets, a mid pocket. So right now, you're doing pretty good. Even if you had some competition, we're kind of liking the bag. Why don't we start out in the front and see what's in the front? Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So she's got her first aid kit.
First aid kit.
With a little can opener.
Mm-hmm.
And some wipes, looks like antibacterial bacterial wipes.
Another first aid kit.
And first aid kit.
Okay, she's got
Earplugs?
Earplugs.
Earplugs.
Might be a
Those are
noisy
good.
situation.
Those are
That's
good.
right.
This is New York City, so noise is an issue.
Thermometer.
Thermometer. Good.
That's her whistle.
Okay, got the whistle.
Look how creative she got. If that's not
all right,
cute, I don't know what is.
Okay.
Hey, that matches my outfit. Can I have this?
Right. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Okay. Flashlight.
This is a flash. Your stuff is very innovative, very
Right,
cute.
right.
Can I have this too? It matches my outfit. Okay.
Okay. We got a coin here. It is no cash value. It's a.
Oh.
Okay, this is for luck.
Oh, well, listen. If
Okay,
that's
luck
what you
is
need,
good. You
that's
might
cool.
need a luck in an emergency. Okay. We got lip balm. You know, all
That's a light.
all those
That
little
is cute.
tchotchkes that you get when you go to these different things, you know, you save these things because, you know, and put them somewhere where they're there. Okay, so she's going with the outside pocket.
Moisturizing cream.
Moisturizing, okay.
These are her toiletries. Everything is separated.
We got a
too.
toothbrush,
Toothbrush, phone charger, mouthwash,
hand sanitizer,
hand sanitizer. Oh, I thought it was extra cord.
extra
for her
cord
phone
for the
charger.
phone charger. Let's see what else we got here. We got some Nivea.
That's right. Skin cream.
Come on, y'all. You know we need the Nivea in there.
Yeah.
And what we like about this bag, again, it's personalized. This is not the bag that you got from the state giveaway or anything. You can tell that these are the items that she needs, that she wants to have. So if she's stuck in emergency, so remember when you use a go bag, you know, that means you got to get out of your house now. You just have time to grab the bag and go. And you don't know, you might not even know where you're going yet, but you know that you have what you need with you.
Right. She's got more items back here. She's got a lot of little compartments.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
how nice
yeah. She's got.
and neat this bag is. She's got cocoa butter, again, personalized.
Right.
You don't know if she has dry skin. She has to use a lot of different things on her face or her, you know.
She's got the mouthwash. She's going to be the only one there with the fresh breath.
Toothpaste. This is such a I love this bag. It's so compact. It's got all these little, more cocoa butter.
More cocoa.
For the lips. Lip balm. Okay, we're gonna put that back where we got it from. Oh wait, this came out of there.
Yeah. Make
Charger
sure we
cord.
get everything back in there. Okay, now I'm opening the other side. Look what we have. Water. Now she got the good water. This is the pH balance, superior hydration. Why not? If you're going to be stuck in an emergency, drink some good water. And if you'd come to our water thing, you'd also know that Poland Spring is not good water. So if you don't know that, we'll have another side conversation about that. Oh, wow, we found another compartment.
That extends.
Oh, that's where it extends. Okay.
Okay, nice. Yeah, we like this bag.
And you know what makes this bag good? I just noticed. Open it again.
Yeah.
Open this. What she has in here is this bag has insulation in it.
Right.
So she has anything she wants to keep cool where you see she's got her water. And the water, actually the bottle of water is cool. So that's where she would keep anything she needs to insulate. That's a good idea to check for those things, like if you use insulin, different things that need to stay cold.
All right, we're going in.
She get my vote whether it's
Right, exactly. We're going in. Okay, so take a look at that.
Everybody got your little yellow bags? Those little yellow bags like this bag the ladies carry? Here's all the stuff that goes right in here that we asked. This main booklet here is the one that we need to have personalized. That's where you put your doctor's names, the doctor's notes, the type of medication that you use, and you want to put that in here so you don't have to think. Did I go to Dr. Sam Jefferson? No, that was 5 years ago. Dr. Jones, I don't even remember. Now, question, I'm not gonna look. Did you personalize your information in that booklet?
Not everything.
That's okay.
Okay.
You got started.
It's all right. You're still in the running. Wait, leave that out. So, and Carol talked about having a book. She has a book. Some of you might have read this book. It's the Bible. The book. Right. Flashlight. We're gonna have to take a point off for the fact that.
The batteries in here. I know the batteries in here.
Oh, you have the battery
I
separate.
know that.
Okay.
We turn the batteries upside down so that right.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
See, listen to a presentation. You put the batteries in, you flip them upside down
So the point I just deducted, I'm going to put it back and then give her another point. Oh, 2 points, Sister Lady back. Okay. Okay, this is a notebook. Can you want to just tell us what's in the notebook?
It's just notepads, just for paper.
Extra paper. Good.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, something. Right, something that.
See?
So this
is a magnifier, so she took it from a different level. Mm-hmm. She didn't get the glasses, the readers, she got a magnifier. Now she has readers.
And she's got the readers.
And that has a light on it. Look at that. It has a little light on it. She went deep for hers. She personalized it. Now, I can't use magnifiers. I can only use them.
Okay. This, everybody, can I have your attention? We're still doing this. This is a face mask. And it's not just any face mask. It's an N95 face mask, which means it's rated to handle certain types of particles. You can get these at Dwayne Reed and some of the stores, but the point is that when you're using a face mask, you want to make sure the face mask is actually going to screen things from you breathing it. So in a situation where, you might be in a situation where there's been an explosion and there's a lot of dust and particulate in the air. Let me tell you a personal story. So, I was on the corner of Broadway and Wall Street when the first tower fell. And so I had to run into a building and hide out for several hours. And when I came out, there was nothing but dust and debris. I had no face mask. I improvised a face mask. My face mask was some paper towels soaked in water that I held to my face like this, and while I walked from where I was all the way up to Harlem, I made a stop along the way, but it probably was in danger of inhaling dangerous dust all the way till I got to about City Hall. And so I have not suffered any respiratory effects of being there, but it was because I had the presence of mind to make something that was going to keep me safe. But this is a preparation to let you know why that face mask is so important. If you're in a situation where you're being exposed to particulate matter, many of it carcinogenic, it might get you today or it might get you tomorrow. We know how many people have died after 9/11 from respiratory illnesses. So that's very important. So let's go deeper. Okay.
All right, she's got a jacket. Now look at all the stuff that's coming out this bag. This is not a small jacket.
Mm-hmm. Velvet plush throw here. I improvised a face mask. My face mask was some paper towels soaked in water that I held to my face like this. The book. personal story. So, I was on the corner. So let's go deeper. Okay.
All right, she's got a jacket. Now look at all the stuff that's coming out this bag. This is not a small jacket.
Mm-hmm. Jacket with a hood.
With a hood.
It's
insulated.
waterproof. Yeah.
It's waterproof.
Mm-hmm.
It's got several pockets. You don't know what you have to carry. Look at that. She's got.
What is this? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just tell us.
I can't explain too much. It's
So it's some type of cereal. It's nutritious, delicious, and will keep her. Okay, so this says.
It's like what do they call it? It's called kasha. That they have is biblical. There's the Bible.
Yeah.
In the Bible it talks about
This cereal is
it's
anointed. That's all you need to know. The cereal's anointed.
She came out with the Bible. She's coming with some more Jesus.
Right, exactly.
She bought Jesus grains
Now,
out her bag.
This is not anointed. It's peanut butter, but it's good. Oh, we got. Oh man, listen.
Okay, that was a little scary. What's that?
This a light.
Oh, okay. It's a light. It's another flashlight.
Kim, is there anything else you want to tell us about this light? Because this looks like this is not any regular light. Okay.
So tell us what's the purpose of getting.
So, but it has a magnet, so you can put that on something metal and it'll stick to it. Or I think the light was already on. It was. You had it right side up already.
But it also has a clip that it clips onto the pads. It can clip onto the plants, and it's a magnet. That's all right. Yeah, where'd you get that one?
Do you know? Online.
It came to.
Let's ask the questions later. Let's see what she got first.
Right. Okay. She's.
Whether you have that magnet or not, that's not going to be as important as everything else that's in this bag. So let's stay focused.
Got a nice little velvet plush throw here. Keep her nice and comfortable. Anything you want to say about this? It was a gift. So again, take those Christmas gifts, the ones that can be useful, put it to somewhere where you can use it when you need it. And this is a situation. Okay, we are almost to the end.
And she's got a crossword puzzle again. Keeping yourself busy, something you like to do on the side.
And that, I believe, is a deck of cards.
Deck of cards. We get a wish game going.
Going. And there's something. No, I think we got all those things there. So we have come to the end of this bag.
We have Kim here to help us to rewrap and repack her own bag to make it comfortable for you.
So Carol, do you want
I
to?
wasn't trying to steal your jacket. That's yours.
So Carol, just a couple of parting words about this bag.
This bag is.
Is the mic on?
I cut it off by mistake. Okay. This bag is definitely by far one of the best bags I've seen. It covers all the bases. And it's not bulky. It's not heavy. It has another area where you can store some other stuff, possibly like if you get caught in the rain, you could put cold rain items down in there. I mean, it has everything that it needs. She has everything she needs to be comfortable. And that's what the main purpose of the bag is. That if you have to go into foreign territory, if you have to go into a shelter, we want you to be comfortable. We don't want you to go to a shelter. We want you to have ahead of time a family member or a friend. But if you can't do that, the shelters are going to provide just the minor comforts of life. You will be fed, but it's not going to be a gourmet meal, and it's not going to be sitting ready when you get there. She has her little snacks to keep herself occupied. She's got snacks that she won't be hungry. She's got water. She won't be thirsty while she waits for the others. She has everything that she needs to meet her basic needs to be comfortable.
Carol, you also saw she's got emergency papers here in the.
And she's got her personal documents. That's it, the copies of your personal documents.
And medicines in this
And
one.
medicine.
So
That's one of the best bags I've seen.
this is one of the best bags we've seen. I can see why she said, I got to get into this.
That's right.
I might come up. And I'm pleased to announce that after review and consultation with the judges, that Kim McDonald is the
Wait, drum roll.
winner of the first boom, boom, dum, 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 dum. Harlem Go Bag Challenge winner. Come on, give it up. Give it up. And we thought about giving her a plaque, but we decided we would give her something with a picture of Benjamin Franklin on it. Y'all saw it already. I'm not showing it to you again. I'm just giving this to her. All right. Oh, somebody don't trust us, huh? Come. Yeah, you show it to him. Show it to him. For the doubting doubters. Yes.
Now that's all she had to do was start this process, get this bag together, walk in here with the bag, and walk away with $100. That's all we ask. That's how seriously we take emergency preparation. Because her bag is better than mine. Get on up out of here.
Yeah. Now,
Thank you so much.
a picture of the three of us.
No, it's amazing. It's an amazing. You go to
A quick question. How many people were here last year for the Harlem Emergency Preparedness Day? Okay, we got a few. Okay. Because everybody got a go bag last year.
Right.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that people, first of all, the other thing about go bags is that after you get your go bag, you put it in the closet and you have a tendency to never look at it again. So I'm going to tell you a little story about me preparing for this thing. So I lost my glasses one day. And I said, oh, well, I got a backup pair of glasses in my go bag. Let me go do my go bag. And as I got to my go bag, I said, I should go through my go bag because we're getting ready to do this go bag thing so I could see what's inside my go bag. So I pulled all the stuff out of my go bag. And I was amazed. My go bag is bad. I didn't want to bring my go bag up because I don't want to scare y'all. My go bag is good. I got the Mylar blanket that she talked about. I got first aid kits. But the thing I also realized, I forgot everything that was in the go bag. So one other thing you should put in your go bag, if you pack a lot of stuff in there, is write a list of the things that are in your go bag and put that in the front. So that if you're in an emergency, you can pull it out and say, oh, I forgot I had that in there. That's in there. So that's another useful thing. P.S. My glasses weren't in there. So I also found out what I didn't have in my go bag. So it's good to periodically go back through your go bag. Because now one of the things that we talk about putting in the go bag is some money. Put a little cash in there, preferably low denominations. Why do you put low denominations in your go bag? Right, in an emergency, nobody's giving you change. So if you're trying to buy a bottle of water, if you got $20, it's a $20 bottle of water. If you got $1, it could be a $1 bottle of water. So you put in low amounts. But let's face it, every now and then, if you know you had that money in a go bag, well, I'll just go and borrow from it and I'll put it back later. So when I went through my go bag, I realized I had not put the money back in my go bag. And I did not have a phone charger in my go bag like I said I was going to do. So I invite everybody who has done a go bag to go back home tonight and go through your go bag. Now the stuff is fresh in your mind. Why don't I just look and see, and we've given you some ideas. Maybe you'll put some other things in there, and maybe you'll find the stuff that's missing. But the other thing we encourage you to do twice a year. So twice a year we got to change our clocks, right? Daylight savings time. Fire department recommends that when you change your clocks, you also check your smoke detectors. Check the batteries in your smoke detectors. Because if you're going to do that, why not do this at the same time? I'm suggesting when you change your clock, check your smoke detectors and check your go bags. Because if you have a habit of doing it twice a year, that's usually enough. But you got to have a habit to do this. So I want you to remember that. Change your clock, check your smoke detectors, check your go bags. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's hear it for HEN, Harlem Emergency Network. Bob Ponce, Carol Johnson, thank you. Go bag competition. Congratulations to, is it Kim? Congratulations, Kim, for a fabulous go bag. And as we wind down here and conclude the 7th Annual Harlem Emergency Preparedness Day, I want to thank everyone for coming. You've been an incredibly tremendous and involved participants. So thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for paying attention. And thank you for taking back to your home and your community what you learned here today. And finally, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, of course, WHCR Radio, Angela Harden, our general manager, Harlem Hospital, New York City Emergency Management. Who did I forget, Haja? The Internet Society, Jolie McPhee. We have been streaming live on the internet, thanks to the Internet Society. So thank you all, one and all. Please come back and see us again next year for our 8th Annual Harlem Emergency Preparedness Day. Get home safe.